Offpanelofftopic. Jake and Tyler.
We've talked about how the box office has changed post-COVID. Things are not looking good for The Flash. The Flash dropped 72% in its second weekend to only bring in $15.3 million domestically, giving it $87.6 million domestic total, which is really bad because this. You know how much this movie was made for? $200 million. And so, if we were to play the game of like you got to make back your budget, but also a little bit more with marketing because of how much money goes into marketing a movie. So it's like. I mean, ideally,
so 200
to break even, they probably would have had to make close to $500 million.
Probably.
And they're going to fall well short of that. Especially, but it's like you just said earlier. This game we're playing now is you have to get the most audience possible in your first weekend because which Guardians of the Galaxy is a great example. Unless it's, hear me out, Tyler. Unless it's a good movie that people want to see, like Guardians of the Galaxy, that one stands out because however you may have felt about Quantumania or Love and Thunder or whatever, go back even further. Multiverse of Madness, that made almost $1 billion. People were interested in that. But Thor dips, and then you see Quantumania dip, and you see all these other dips. The reason is we have created this idea of see it now because we live in the fucking spoiler culture. That's one of the problems. Is if you're
but do we anymore?
If you're interested,
it's so easy to avoid spoilers. I'm serious. I haven't had Facebook on my phone in over a year, and if I'm on Twitter, I don't know. I just don't follow the people who spoil. I'm just saying.
It's not hard to get spoiled. My point is that.
Really?
Yes.
Still, what the fuck? How the hell?
Because I'm more active on Twitter because I follow more movie dudes on Twitter.
That's your fault, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever. Point is, they have it's an environment that if it doesn't get great reviews, it doesn't get a good box office. That movie is bound to fail.
And that shit is fucking hurt shit too with that whole crap.
I think it's a good resource if you like to read.
But as soon as
if you like to read critiques that are from actual movie critics,
right,
and that can inform your opinion.
As soon as movie studios started using them in their trailers, 99% tomato meter
certified
reading.
fresh.
Yes, as soon as they started doing that, then they had all those bots and like those campaigns.
Well, and then you get chuds. You get those kind of bots. You get chuds, and it messes with the audience score.
God.
But that's the thing.
I love and I hate the internet.
There's so many reasons to talk about why The Flash failed, and I do. But I think in general, before I even get to The Flash, I'm just saying, especially superhero movies, it's an environment now where if you don't make a pretty solid movie and it doesn't have good word of mouth and response from an audience, it can fail. I liked Quantumania. I didn't think it was bad, but it got a lot of negative reviews and it got a lot of flack from fans. And look, I'll be honest, post Endgame, Marvel hasn't been that good. It's had some hits, but it's had a lot of misses. And despite how you feel about Love and Thunder, I actually enjoy it. So
I like the overall message of it, but
it's too silly. That's what Hemsworth says.
I've always thought that there was, I've always kind of had a little bit of something stuck in my craw ever since I saw the movie. And I know I was just fucking around on YouTube and I was watching honest trailers. I watched the one for, God, what the fuck was it? Love and Thunder was one of them. And it was, the end was like, finding chemo. But it made some really good points. Some of those, if you watch those, honest trailers, some of them make some good points while they're making jokes. The reason why they're so funny is it's because it's like, well, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And they kept showing all these, they show all the examples of like, let's have jokes about Thor fucking his weapon. And it's like, yeah, that was weird.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, fucking weirdo.
Yeah. All right. That's fine.
No, there...
Well, there's multiple reasons to talk. Well, let's kind of...
I liked Christian Bale's performance.
But
Gore was underused, and now he's dead again, like another fucking villain that was compelling.
Well, I think Marvel.
Do we really want
I think
Chris
Marvel,
Hemsworth for a sixth?
I think
Thor
Marvel's
movie?
fine because
Or fifth?
the 2 times they didn't really kill off a villain, they've had some problems legally. So,
Which?
because Namor got in trouble. There, I don't know if it was the
Tinoch Huerta?
the R word, but it might have been possible sexual harassment or something to that effect. Sexual assault. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know the thing. And now we're seeing more with Jonathan Majors as that develops. Again,
What's going on with that?
I don't know anymore, man. I'm sure we'll find out more. I think it's going to trial. There's some sort of trial that's taking place. I don't know. But I bring that up as a joke because it's like the few times that Marvel does recurring characters, they do some shitty things in their personal life. That is a big factor with the Flash.
Yeah.
Because, like it or not, I guarantee there are people that did not see this movie because of what Ezra Miller did. And you know what? Good power to them. I think that's fine. If you personally don't want to support that person, that's totally your prerogative. Good for you, man. But I watched it because I'm a dirty consumer.
No, we talked about this many times.
We almost didn't.
We've talked about Led Zeppelin and all that shit. I bring that one up every time, and a whole lot of lovin' comes on the radio. I don't necessarily think about that.
Such a good song.
You know what I mean? Like I just but
I know.
Then like when we went and saw Flash last weekend, I don't think I thought about.
God, that was the last weekend.
I know time's spinning out of control.
I can't believe that movie's been out for 2 weeks.
But when we saw it, I don't think at one point. I'm sure I did at one point, at least. I'm sure, but it was definitely not like a main focus of my mind that they're a piece of shit human being.
Yeah,
I just was trying to watch the movie and enjoy it for what it was.
But I think that definitely played a factor.
But yeah, I can see why people didn't. I'm just saying I was able to.
I don't think that's
overlook that. I guess
I don't think that's the number one reason why this movie failed. But I
it's
think
got to be a part of it.
Financially flopped because that has got to be a factor in it. And again, I understand it. I think another problem of it was how over fucking hyped this movie is. And DC is so guilty of this. I've talked about it before. Standing ovation in the boardroom. They fucking watched Batman v Superman. And then every fucking DC movie that comes out, it's the best DC movie since The Dark Knight. No.
Didn't we talk about how I don't give a fuck what a boardroom of fucking douchebags thinks about a fucking movie?
Or the fact that you have celebrity...
I don't give a shit if they shat in their hands and threw it at the screen.
It doesn't seem authentic if you have Stephen King tweeting about this movie because he saw a pre-screening of it. So it's like it doesn't say ad or anything on his tweet, but there has to be some sort of exchange here. Like, oh, you can see this movie for free, but you have to say good things about it on Twitter. Like, there was so much of that going into it, and you could tell Warner Brothers was trying so fucking desperately to make this movie be a success and put all this shit behind it. Say it's one of the best superhero movies ever. It's like, stop the hyperbole. Like, is it a good movie? I enjoyed it, yes, but it's not the best fucking superhero movie I've ever seen. And you know what?
Not even the best one this year. Seriously, Fury of the Gods is still my top this year. Well, Spider-Verse was pretty good.
Spider-Verse is, number one for me.
But Fury of the Gods was surprisingly close.
Well, Guardians 3 was really good.
Yeah. Okay, forget what I just said.
Well, you know what we should do?
Completely forget what I just said.
Before Blue Beetle comes out, we should do a ranking of like best comic book movies this year. Well, no, we'll save that for the Apatis.
How about the Apatis?
Yes. Or we could just do it whenever. I don't care.
We should rank the DCEU movies right now.
I don't want to, because I hate them. Well, okay, back to that. Back to The Flash.
Back to the Future?
Another reason this movie failed is because I don't necessarily...
Eric Stoltz.
Yes. Well, because, and I think this hurt Fury of the Gods as well. While we were excited for the future with what James Gunn could do with the DC universe, we were all like, oh, So these next couple movies aren't going to matter at all. Like, we already knew that Snyder's universe was pretty much dead, or the DCEU is pretty much dead.
Right.
But to have him come out in January and make announcements about his plans, and then just say, well, these movies exist because Shazam is off doing his own thing, but Flash resets the whole universe, and because, whatever. And that makes people feel a certain way. And then the Henry Cavill thing, and so, look, the Snyder Cult people were not going to support this, so that's a whole sect of fandom that's just stupid. But
Mostly bots.
this brand has been significantly damaged. And again, it goes back to Warner Brothers as a whole. Decades of really stupid decisions have led them to this point. And they have been riding the coattails of these properties that they own. And now they're finally starting to see what happens when you turn out content and you don't turn out art.
When you treat your fucking awesome characters like dirt and shit. And property be bought and sold
and that's not
at a fucking auction.
And I'm not.
That's what's gonna happen. The fans are gonna turn on you. You can't treat my Batman that way all the fucking time.
But here's the thing. Whether video games are super popular, comic books are doing great.
Video game.
No, I'm kidding. My broader point is, no matter what, movies are still how you're going to reach the widest audience.
Yes.
Always. It's going to be the biggest pop culture thing for these characters. So when you continue, because there's going to be people that watch Batman movies that don't pick up a Batman comic book. My dad watched those Batman movies, never read a Batman comic in his life. You know what I mean? You're still going to have those people.
I wonder what that's like.
And so every time you serve them shit, what makes you think they're going to come back? Because you again are riding the coattails of your brand, and then you also come to find out that maybe the Flash isn't as popular as you thought. Because the Flash is great, and when it's done well, a really good character. But I'm sorry, the Flash ain't Batman. He ain't Superman, and he ain't Wonder Woman. I'm sorry.
No.
And you know what? If this flops, this did flop, good fucking luck with Blue Beetle. Good luck if you make any fucking money with that character.
Dude, yeah. Here's the issue is
that sucks because I don't like seeing these comic book characters fail.
You gotta know who you are, okay? Now you can't you can't take a Flash fan very seriously, and here's why. No. Like a diehard, like the Flash is the best superhero ever. You can't, and here's why. Because they're deluding themselves, okay?
You can only tell so many stories with the Flash.
I mean, yeah, right? I mean, no matter how you slice it, no matter how much you love the Flash, you cannot... If you have to make the mental gymnastics to say in your head that he's like better or more popular than Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman, then you've already lost. You know what I mean?
And I'm not saying there aren't Flash fans out there.
There are, and they're fucking super irritating.
And I'm sure there's some really good Flash books too. I'm not saying there aren't.
No, I'm saying like the people who are... And Green Lantern, same thing. Martian Manhunter,
I love
whatever.
Green Lantern, you fuck. I get your point.
Right? Okay.
It's not the Trinity.
The point is if you like a comic character like a lot, like I love Captain America, but I know that in the comics he's basically B level because you got X-Men and like all these ones up here and Spider-Man. Yeah. Captain America's like right here. Iron Man's down here. The only reason Iron Man's anything is because of Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
No, Robert Downey Jr. That's the only reason.
Because they made him look like him and act like him in the books.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy, again, James Gunn takes a property that is largely like, what the fuck is this? And just turns it into something great. And my point is
I hope Blue Beetle could do that.
My point is there aren't enough Blue Beetle fucking fans out there. And even the diehard ones can only go see it maybe once or twice. And that's not enough. And
It's like, okay, so this is...
How far along was Blue Beetle in the process before James Gunn took over?
I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, if there was a chance to put a stop to it, he should have. Because that's more money wasted. I mean, this company is run by just people.
Hey, by the way, Tyler. So, here's another fun fact
the toilet.
about this movie. $200 million budget, right? Batgirl had a $90 million budget.
Right?
care if that movie
Let's
sucked.
Trash that.
And they're saying it sucked.
For
It was really bad.
purposes.
Okay, but these same people are saying that Batgirl was really terrible. Are the same executives that were
Who's
saying this was the
Daniel
best
Vision?
fucking movie? Exactly.
You know why they were standing up? Because they were like, well, that looks like $200 million worth of shit.
But like I said earlier, Warner Brothers fucking did this to themselves. I don't feel at all upset.
Fuck them.
Do I feel bad for the director? Do I feel bad for the writer? Am I fucking bummed that
All the people
we
that
might
worked
not ever
on it
get
for
to
9
see?
years.
We got to see Keaton return as Batman, and we might not get to see that ever again. But like
Still pretty badass though.
because I saw the rumor that Kevin Smith shared that if Flash would have made money and been successful, they were going to do a Batman Beyond movie like with Keaton, and we're never going to see that now. But that's fine. It's fine.
Maybe we will.
It's Batman. That's the thing. The Flash. I don't think you get it yet, people. I gotta keep driving that through. The Flash is not Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman. Those are your tent poles. And I'm not saying make everything Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman. No, I am just saying there's a reason Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman made money. There's a reason that fucking the Batman made all that money. People care about these characters. And again, I want to reiterate. Yes, you're right. There are fans of the Flash and love the Flash. There are characters that I love in comics that, whatever. But yeah, you're right.
You're aware that they're not.
Yes. And you know what? The best Flash movie they made had to bring in 2 Batmen.
I was just gonna say,
cameo
hey, Flash
from-
fans. Hey, Flash fans. Just want to ask you a big question.
Flashpoint.
You're super popular. They called it the Flash and everything, and it's basically based off of a huge company-wide like comic book crossover that involved almost the entire DC universe. So it wasn't just about the Flash. So dang on you there.
Dude.
And then second, if Flash is so great, how come when you finally make a solo Flash movie, you have to bring in
Michael Keaton as Batman.
Ben Affleck as Batfleck. You have to bring in an alternate universe,
A Supergirl.
which I love her.
I hope they make a movie of her character. I like her character.
I would love it if she is the one who plays because they're making a Supergirl.
Well, oh yeah, her as Woman of Tomorrow.
That's what I was
That would be
thinking
nice.
when they started showing the trailer.
James,
I was like, cool.
James,
We could write it for you.
You're listening.
We could write it for you.
No, Tom King did it, but
No, I mean we could write the movie. We could do a treatment of the movie, and then somebody who's more.
yes, 2 unproven podcasters.
Hey, how did James Gunn start out? As an unproven film director?
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
That's inspiring.
Wasn't he?
Monday motivation, everybody.
Hang on a second. I guarantee you, if we
He
talked
worked
to
with
James,
Trauma.
great. But I guarantee you, if we talked to James Gunn and said, "Hey, when you were starting out, did anybody fucking know who you were?" I guarantee he's gonna be honest and say, "Nope, nobody fucking knew. I had to make my own name." So this is how I'm making my name, James, by bugging the shit out of you to give me a job to save Warner Brothers. Damn it!
I don't know if I've said it on this show, but I said it
Can I
on
yell a little more?
Yeah, on Drawn to DC when we covered the Flashpoint Paradox.
Oh yeah.
One of the biggest Flash stories this past decade was Jeff Johns' Flashpoint, and like you were saying, really, it's more about Thomas Wayne Batman, especially in that movie, and it's a lot more about everything that happened around the Flash, like Aquaman being a warlord and Wonder Woman being this like conquering empress.
It's
like
basically an Elseworld story.
It's it.
Dude.
That's what it is, and it was a way to reset.
And the Flash
everything.
is the central character, but that doesn't make him the star of the fucking story.
This
dude.
movie is more about the Flash than
Than the Flashpoint
Yes,
Paradox.
yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I agree with you. And even then, it didn't make money. But it's not. I don't.
You know what the coolest thing about the Flash is, honestly? Most of these secondary characters in DC, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman have almost always been Clark Kent, or have always been Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne, Diana of
Diana Prince.
whatever, right? Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You've had Alan Scott. You've had Guy Gardner. Hal
Wally
Jordan.
West.
You've had
Barry Allen. Yeah.
Yes.
Mantles.
That's kind of cool about the Flash, actually. I kind
And
of
Green
like.
Lantern. That's what I liked about Green Lantern. Is
Yes.
There's a different. You can be a Hal Jordan Green Lantern fan, or you could be a Jon Stewart or Guy Gardner. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, see, so
You can like Wally West, or you can like Barry Allen.
but that doesn't make you on the same fucking tier as
Also-
fucking Batman.
Also, Yes, we've had where Dick Grayson's been Batman in the comics and stuff like that. But what you just said, the tent poles are there. You have to have a Wonder Woman. You have to have a Batman. You have to have a Superman.
Bruce Wayne is still in the story.
They are
is
the
he not?
constants.
Even if Dick Grayson is being Batman, is Bruce Wayne still in the story somehow? Yes. He's at the Batcave.
We made a fucking Punisher Batman named Thomas Wayne in this Flash story because we have to. Oh, what's going on with Superman? We need him. He's our big gun.
Yeah, what's going on with him, man?
Honestly, I hate to say it, I kind of like the evil version of Wonder Woman a little bit more.
See,
I like it when she's like a conquering war goddess. You know what I mean?
My favorite, who wrote the Flash for Jeff Johns?
Yes.
My favorite thing is that Jeff sat down and he said, "How do we make Batman different?" And with just one
Let him kill
difference.
people.
No.
It's Thomas instead of Bruce.
One difference. Instead of his parents getting killed, what if Bruce gets killed? How would his Thomas would be Batman and she would... That is so cool. That is such a great, to me, that's such a great twist on the legendary and incredible Batman story. It's so incredible because it's so universal and it's largely remained unchanged. But when you just change that one moment, that one thing, and you can build all that story out of that one difference. That's why I love the What If books from Marvel and the Elseworlds
and
stuff.
comics have always done that. And
we were talking about canon earlier.
Well, yeah, because these characters exist for hundreds of years, and there's so many different writers. It's and that's one of the things we loved about Across the Spider-Verse. We were just saying, yeah, canon's kind of dumb. We should
canon event.
Canon is dumb because it always gets reset.
Yes.
It always gets changed. How many times has DC fucking rebooted itself?
And how much you want to bet that in the next movie, the next Spider-Verse movie, that they show that Miles doesn't need his canon event or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And what is that going to say? That just because it's canon in somebody else's story or whatever doesn't mean it has to be canon in this story?
Speaking of Spider-Verse, next topic. Look at that transition.
Speaking of Spider-Verse, you bastards.
Spider-Verse, by the way,
Phil Lord.
Spider-Verse, its fourth week, by the way, retook the box office. So that's how the Flash is dealing with right now. Oh, and another thing, Tyler, you wanted to mention that Asteroid City was going to beat the Flash this week.
Yeah.
So hey, if you get the right director, you don't need to make a superhero.
And Transformers. Is that what you said?
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.